What's up, everybody? I'm Michael Allen, and this is the Movie Minute. This episode of the Movie Minute, we're talking about Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire. Is it the Titanic epic that everybody's expecting? Tune in to find out. Let's talk really quick about expectations, right? I talk about this a lot in my reviews, and films are all about expectations. I'm going to be honest with you, my expectations for this film were very, very low, which makes it pretty surprising what I'm about to talk about with you. So, Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire is truly a sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong, but it also has connections all the way back to the Godzilla made in 2014. There's a lot of characters and there's a lot of plot elements and world building that are all present in this film that kind of connect it to those films. Obviously, there's some characters who aren't in this film that were in Godzilla vs. Kong. Millie Bobby Brown, probably because she's become huge and they didn't want to pay her, to be honest. The series has become quite known for its kind of outrageous settings and ridiculous VFX and giant monsters fighting other monsters, which is a genre in itself, right? Giant monsters / robots fighting other things. It's designed to be this massive summer popcorn flick genre, right? And I want to call out as well that this film is in no way connected to Godzilla Minus One, which is an absolute masterpiece that I talked about last year. The mythos, the storyline, the narrative, all of that is separate from Godzilla Minus One and is all connected to really Godzilla vs. Kong. So the storyline continues a few years after Godzilla vs. Kong, and now the two titans have obviously kind of, made up in a certain way, or they've found their separate territories that they can coexist in without bothering each other, and humans are intent on keeping it that way. So Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire, really leans into figuring out what is the true origin of Kong, really. And it has some connections to Kong Skull Island, which is one of my favorite installments in this series. The premise of the film is pretty interesting. Like, where did they come from, truly? What is the origin of the Titans, the Monsterverse? Like, where did all of these so-and-so monster gods come from? So let's jump in and talk about what I liked. When you think about what this movie is supposed to be, it kind of did that thing. And so I will say, the film design is awesome. There was only really a few shots that looked questionable. Overall, there's some really cool, huge moments in this. Giant monster moments, destroying cities, fighting other giant monsters. The world is colorful, it's beautiful, it's creative. It's a very creative movie. It's a really creative world. And so I really enjoyed all of those moments. And there's a lot of great action sequences in this movie. I mean, that's really what you're looking for in a movie like this, is you're looking for entertaining action sequences, and that absolutely exists in this film. I found myself smiling and laughing multiple times at the moments in this film. I also really enjoyed Dan Stevens in the movie, who kind of plays a new main character who comes in as a vet. I enjoyed his energy. I enjoyed his on-screen energy. Rebecca Hall is also very good. She really does a good job of playing this scientist that is like the caretaker of Kong as well as the caretaker of Gia. She plays a great character, but that doesn't necessarily translate over into story. So let's talk about a few of the things that I didn't like. As most of you know that are probably tuning into this review, this film is terribly written. There is very little cohesive thought with this script. There are so many things that make zero sense. Like literally things that I thought, why are they doing that? It doesn't make any sense or even matter in the scope of the entire film. Take Godzilla, for instance. He actually doesn't even need to exist in this film. They try really hard to make it feel like he should exist and he needs to be in this story, but he really doesn't. This is another Kong story, and Godzilla's presence in it doesn't matter. This narrative is a mess, and the film is overly long. They put in so much into this film, and truly a ton of buildup in Act 1. It's this really long setup for something that didn't need to be that long. I just found myself really feeling the runtime in the middle of the movie and finding myself pretty bored. Like the sequences in between the big action pieces are very bland and boring, and they're expositional in the worst way. Like they explain all of these things to you, and only 1% of it actually matters for your enjoyment of the film and the story. So let's talk about ratings and badge. From an entertainment standpoint, the film was entertaining a lot of times. Not a little, a lot. And so I would give it a solid 7 out of 10 for entertainment. I was entertained. It was enjoyable from an action, big monster fight perspective. From a critic standpoint, this film was terrible. Nothing ever really worked well in terms of the story for this film, so I'd probably give it a 3 out of 10 for a critics rating. It was that rough. It was very, very rough. So averaged out a 5 out of 10 for me from the overall rating for Godzilla and Kong. And from a badge standpoint, I mean, this is very much a couch potato. I mean, it's fun. It's something you watch with your friends on a random night and you multitask and check out the new Godzilla movie. Is it worth going with a group and dropping 40, 50, 60 bucks at the theater? Absolutely not. If you are totally sold out to the Kong storyline, I could see you wanting to go see the film. But other than that, it's an absolute pass when it comes to the movie theater. So, jump in the comments and let me know what your modern day Godzilla Kong favorite movie is. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button. Please subscribe, join this movie loving community with me, and until next time everybody, peace out.